It's rotating. Dude, there's a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing! It's rotating. Dude, there's a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
Hello, and welcome to Star Time. How are you all tonight? It's been kind of a crazy week for folks, so I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're safe, you're warm and dry, not inhaled too much smoke if you're out by California, not too damp if you're in the middle of the country or in the south. If you're in New York State, I don't know, I hope you're sheltering.
We have to shelter?
You know, I mean, everyone's still supposed to be kind of minimizing their... I mean, on top of it all, we're still, you know.
For a beautiful second, I was not living in a global pandemic. It was nice.
Speaking of, there's a negative piece of news I must bring, folks, and that is our corrections for last week. I mentioned that Titan has a water cycle, the moon of Saturn. It has, I believe it's technically called a hydrological cycle, but that may be wrong as well. That may be implying just water. But I meant that Titan has a methane cycle. I don't know if anyone actually said anything, but I caught it immediately after I said it and then didn't correct myself.
It's okay.
I'm a professional, folks.
He is.
But yeah, let's see. But that's a good thing to point out, which is whenever we say things, always feel free to double check, especially if it seems weird. It goes with our topic tonight, the aliens. They're not aliens. We don't know what they are. Are they? They're unidentified.
Aliens.
There may be some drunk drone pilots. They could be aliens. Extraterrestrial beings. Perhaps gremlins are real. Who knows? But we'll find out with Mel shortly. Also, I just want to bring about, we have a very important sponsor, and that is, let's present to the folks our beautiful Potsdam toilet gardens. They're under threat, so you gotta go and visit now. They made special zoning laws so they can get rid of the toilet gardens. But that man is fighting back with a $7 million lawsuit against the village board. So, if you want to see the famous Potsdam toilet gardens, you have perhaps a few weeks. Oh, and you want to help show the folks.
I have to say, he's not bullshitting. This eyesore exists. I don't hate it. I don't mind it until I found out why he was doing it.
He's mad about zoning. It's the thing everyone loves to get mad about.
Like, people, like, seriously, why are you that mad? Like, hit a blunt and take a nap. Like, who cares about zoning?
Well, this guy was apparently trying to sell his property, have a Dunkin' Donuts developed, and then the village had some issue with it, and then they put the toilet gardens out.
Oh my god! So we only have one Dunkin' Donuts now instead of 3?
It may be in that location because it's not here, you see.
This town is a small pissant town. I can, like, drive, like, 2 blocks and reach end to end. We don't need
That's
3.
a lie! Lowe's is a little further away than 2 blocks.
Yeah, but it's on the edge of fucking town. And we're on the other edge of said town. So I know.
Next to Big Lots.
Right? So, I'm so sorry that you can't buy a donut, cross the street, and then buy another donut.
Well, I mean, there's Tim Hortons, which is superior.
Very
Just go
good.
there.
Yeah, way better. That's the other thing.
Why didn't this guy just sell to Tim Hortons?
Then I would have fought alongside you because Tim Hortons, that shit slaps.
Really?
Like, you don't even know. A French vanilla, bitch? Oh my god.
Ooh, Prototype Cube's got to mention that this used to be a one-horse town until someone ate the horse. Honestly, that's the story of Northern New York,
That
frankly.
really is.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
there'll be links to the toilet wars in our show, and we'll, as we like to post lots of links. In addition, we actually posted Mel's very excited description of what she's going to talk about in the bio. She says it better than any of us. She's great. Ooh, so, but first, before Mel, is space news. So, there's a few things happening. It's not a lot, really. But this weekend, we're going to be 5 launches. There's now 4. One was scrubbed, and I put a list of it here. Just in case you're lucky and live near any of these places. This is actually Kodiak Field, or Kodiak Launch Facility. I forget the name. Kodiak Spaceport. And the Astra orbital launch is going to be on Sunday night from here. So did you know that there were launch facilities in Alaska?
No, I have a life.
Well, we might not have had a life. One time, I think a rocket launched off of here in the 80s or 90s, and a very drunk Boris Yeltsin almost nuked us. Till someone else was like, no, there's just one. They're not going to launch just one.
If only he had.
Yeah, this would be interesting. But there's a few others. There's going to be a SpaceX launch for Argentina, which was delayed until tomorrow. There's a United Launch Alliance launch tonight, Friday, but that's been rescheduled. Oh, wait. The ULA launch is rescheduled for tomorrow. The SpaceX Argentina launch is delayed with no future date at the moment, or nothing set. And there's an awful Starlink launch of another 58 or 60 or whatever, those awful things. That's launching on Sunday. So I can't wait to see the UFO reports Monday when I go back to work.
Sounds exciting.
Well, I have a template now to send to people that see them and ask me questions.
That seems logical.
Yeah. And there's a new company, Rocket Lab is launching their Electron launch vehicle on Friday, Saturday night too. It's with an Earth observation satellite for Capella Space, some startup in San Francisco. So if you haven't noticed a pattern, most of these are startups launching their damn rockets.
Wow, good for them.
Isn't that great?
Wow, I'm sure it's gonna work out.
I don't have like a lot of. Well, I have insurance, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad they can launch the rockets. Well, what's some more fun news? What do we got? Ooh, big smashy.
Nibiru is coming. Y'all are right.
This is actually. Do you know what this is?
It is like an image of Pluto and some other shit.
It's got a bunch of moons. It's got one really big moon compared to its size called Karen.
So is it a... And there's a Karen in space,
It
y'all.
really is.
Don't fucking go there.
And it's a harbinger of death.
Yeah, Karen is our harbinger of death. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah. Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, Styx are the other satellites around Pluto, and they're actually much smaller. And they were kind of wondering, like, how did these get around Pluto? That doesn't make sense that they'd still stick around.
How did Karen get there?
They think a big impact.
Of course, she would do that.
They think there was another big impact on either Karen or Pluto that made these little ones pop off. So that's a new theory. It seems to make a little more sense. I like Pluto. Throw it in here.
So she just like barged in unannounced, made her presence known, and then just took over.
Possibly.
Wow.
That's
Very
Karen
on
for you.
brand.
But
Can we blow it up?
why would we want to? See
Why
this
wouldn't we?
rock? This great rock that I'm sitting on?
It is a rock. You're right.
It's possibly a little bigger than the asteroid you may have heard about that's coming to hit Earth right before Election Day.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, so I actually had a perfect, a perfect size demo for this rock. Yeah, it's also
Comment
probably
in the
not going to
chat
hit.
if you were hoping it was bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Sorry,
This
not
is
to
gonna
interrupt.
burn up. Might get a few fragments.
Lame.
Sorry everyone. NASA even sent out a thing that's like almost apologetic about it not being like big enough to hurt anything. It's also only got about
Even NASA knows we're done with 2020.
it's got like 0.5% of a chance of even hitting us. So
God, lame.
that's
Oh,
more
well.
than most of the things they pick up. But anyway, that's what's coming. It's not much. I wish I was on top of that asteroid hitting
Again,
Earth.
on brand for 2020.
This isn't quite space news, it's aerospace news. I just like this plane. It looks cool.
Seriously?
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
called
we have it?
Well, it's called the Celeron 500L. It's supposed to be a super efficient private jet. I think it looks cool, but it is a harbinger of bad things to come because they're advertising it as an air taxi service for like well-off folks. They're hoping to make like thousands of these and have them take off of all over the place and yeah.
So basically, like billionaires?
No, this is for like millionaires.
Oh, fun fact, like airplane crashes, you're least likely to survive those. You know what I mean?
Can I have you do test pilot for this?
No,
It looks so cool.
we
It's
talked
got a little
about this.
propeller in the back and it's got jets. It's so neat. Anyway, it's apparently very fuel efficient. It's like most private planes get like 3 miles a gallon or something, and this gets like 28 miles a gallon, which drops its overall operating cost to about 350 or something per hour. So affordable.
What a steal.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be crazy not to get one. But a lot of rich people are probably gonna. But I think it looks cool. Yeah. And just a little bit of forecasting for you. This weekend, the big thing, you're just gonna see the moon pass by Saturn and Jupiter in the south. So, you want to see the moon and Jupiter and Saturn? This is your weekend to do it. The moon is your guide. Oh, Jasmine.
Sorry,
You're blocking
Proto
part of-
Cube. I like the way you roll. That's all I'm gonna say.
Raspberry. Ooh. You know, we could all pitch in to get a nice little seller of 500, couldn't we? For fun stuff. Perhaps. Theoretically. Parody. Satire.
Hypothetically, that is something you can do as a citizen.
But you know what else you can do as a citizen?
Vote.
And file Freedom of Information Act requests, like
You
Ken
can.
Clipperstein loves to do.
Wow.
And people, especially perhaps old pop punk singers, might have dedicated their lives to doing such things until they brought us tonight's topic. But I don't think we should discuss this. I think our wonderful friend Mel. I think it's her time to shine. So let's bring on Mel. Hi, Mel.
Special guest. Returning, technically.
Yes, a former guest on our Stupid Brunch show.
Yeah, and she'll be back. Because I'm going to make her.
This is a really close topic to my heart. In this entire toilet bowl of a year,
Oh, yeah.
something special happened.
Mel, would you like to introduce yourself a bit for the folks?
Okay, my name is Mel. I am Star Times resident UFO expert. I have no training, no experience, no evidence, no. But you know, I feel it. So we're just going to talk about it, and we're going to.
I respect that.
I had to talk about this because I actually think it's amazing news, and I feel like if it had been any other year, this would have gotten a lot more attention because I don't know about. Well, I think I know about you and Jasmine. I don't know about the public at large. I'm a true believer in extraterrestrial life, intelligent life beyond our planet. Certainly elsewhere in the universe. I'm also a believer that extraterrestrial life has in some way, shape, or form visited or been a part of our planet. In what way, I don't know. But to get to the point, basically, Tom DeLonge, the former bassist of Blink-182, left Blink-182 and founded, along with a former advisor at the Pentagon, Luis Elizondo, To the Stars Academy and Sciences, which, along with the New York Times, leaked 3 videos, short videos, documented by US fighter pilots experiencing interactions with what they refer to as unidentified aerial phenomenon, or what we can call UFOs. We were right. It's amazing. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for believing in everything. And then not only that, the Pentagon admitted that they were true videos. They had a chain of command you could follow that authenticated that there was no tampering with the videos. You know, I think they're amazing videos. Perhaps maybe, you know, to the layman wanting to see, you know, crazy tall aliens with big eyes and stuff like that. But it's clear on the videos, you know, you have these serious military pilots, you know, 1 minute, and then the next minute these things appear on screen and they've turned into teenagers and they just cannot believe their eyes. And certainly the object on the screen.
Should we play the audio from one of these?
The audio is honestly the best part.
I have to say props to them because they handled that in such a professional way. They were still pretty much, even though you're right, like teenagers, but they were still like, huh, that's
so
a
this
hell of a
is
thing.
Gimbal's
my shit.
audio.
Well, we should show folks
There's a
a
whole
little
fleet
bit
of them.
of
Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Let's see, I think.
That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is an LNS, dude. Well, if there's like look at that thing. It's rotating.
I love that some people were really surprised that they were calling each other bro in
There's a whole
the
fleet
video
of them.
too.
Look on the
And it's
ASA.
like that's what Navy guys sound like. That's what all guys sound like.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
I like how they're like, man, it's fast too.
It's so fast. Well, yeah, actually, that's the title of this video. Go fast.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I have a theory as why they were
And you
so
can see-
reserved too.
It's a little puck kind of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can see it. The targeting system kind of grabbing it. So
out the minute he actually gets it in the sensor.
yeah.
Going that fast. I think that's something that there's a lot of subtlety in this videos, and that's why I think like it's really exciting for folks like ourselves that are really into UFOs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to understand is these objects are going really, really fast, generally against the wind. And to me, they almost seem like they're trying to avert the sensors. So this is really not normal. Aircraft technology is able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then really understanding that these are not tampered with videos. And then not only that, the Pentagon has really not been able to give any theories as to what they may be. They can't even really call them drones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is such important information. And it's so disappointing to also know that all this information that was leaked along with it, apparently we found out in 2012 that the Pentagon did have essentially what was a $22 million program designed to study and research what they called, again, you know, unidentified aerial phenomenon, but eventually they dissolved it, you know, essentially they had better shit to do.
Wasn't that also somehow connected with Robert Bigelow? Bigelow
Yes,
Aerospace? Yeah, and the Skywalker Ranch may have also been studied by them? Or Skinwalker Ranch!
Skywalker Ranch is
damn it.
fine for the most part, if y'all are worried.
And if you don't know about Skinwalker Ranch, you should research Skinwalker Ranch. It's another site of, it's not these types, so there's many different types of, you know, UFO evidence this is one type where we have video of aerial interaction. There's other types where, like, say, crop circles would be another type, and Skinwalker Ranch is essentially a ranch. Is it in, what state is it in?
I want to say, isn't it Arizona?
Or Nevada.
Oh, one of those desert states.
I want to say it's Nevada. Let me check.
And it's this huge, hundreds of acres, and essentially the animals, the cattle living on this ranch and just this specific area would be found day after day after day, basically completely skinned and having other
Utah.
like surgical things happen to them and parts removed, and certainly not what any animal could do, certainly not what any just criminal, I mean, like, this was surgical type stuff, and they still never, so things like that. And
It's spooky as hell.
if you're living in any other year, this might be.
I know.
Like, there was a whole bunch of stuff about that last year. But we're already having a chaotic time. Oh, by the way, it's in Utah.
Ah,
It's in Utah. Okay.
really?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought there it was.
Utah, of
To
all
me,
places.
And I feel it's good news. Do you guys feel good about this type of stuff, or do you feel, because the government always seems to take these stances where they look at these types of things as like security issues? I don't necessarily see it that way, but
Yeah, I think part of the... You mentioned how it was remarkable it could lock onto this moving so fast, right?
Mhm.
That might be another motive why they're releasing the video. Or it's like, well, check out how good the targeting system is. Well, check out, I can see stuff that you can't normally see.
where like 700 billion is going. Look at that. We're able to.
Yeah.
I think it's legit. They were like, you know, it's 2020. Things are terrible. Let's just throw the aliens in now so we can get that over with. So once, you know, the global pandemic explodes further and we talk about aliens, it'll just be an incredible shit show. And we'll be prepared for 2021, which will probably, I'm assuming, is going to be just as bad.
I
Not
always
worse.
kind of wanted to have Alien Nation happen in real life and just get drunk with my neighbor, the alien.
That
On
would
milk.
be interesting. I've always wondered about that. Oh, you know what?
Wait, we're talking over Mel.
Oh, sorry.
There's a slight delay, folks. We're sorry.
We're doing the married couple thing. Sorry.
No, I mean, I'm saying, like, do you feel like we should do more to get our $700 billion worth and do more research into what this kind of stuff is? Because maybe they could be neighbors. They could just be out to, you know, just
Say
mess
hi.
with, right?
What if it's even like the Jacques Vallée thing, where this is like little bits of them penetrating our dimension or something? That seems interesting. And even if this, like,
anything on that thing, it could be an alien version of a drone. It's literally just picking up some shit and seeing like
probe.
what type of shit we're doing
And
that day. We're
the
just
interesting
doing
thing is,
experiments.
I had my boss. She was very skeptical of these, and she's like, "This is just like artifacts or a software bug or something," which maybe. But then again, I think with one of these videos, didn't they cite they saw it on like the equipment on the aircraft carrier, and then the
Yes,
plane saw it.
had a cross reference that they were able to do with other military offers that were on an aircraft carrier in the same, because this one in particular, I know one of them happened in San Diego, and that's when they were able to do the cross, because there was an aircraft carrier and military officers on that aircraft carrier in that same area also reported seeing something.
I forget which one it was, because the two groups were, it was the Nimitz carrier group and the Theodore Roosevelt. And the
Yes.
Nimitz had the first video, which was, this is from, I think, what, 2004?
Yes,
Fleur?
2004 to
What?
2015.
And it was, Fleur actually stands for Forward Looking Infrared Camera.
Yes.
So it's
what
not
we're
named
looking
after
at is
like
the version
cigarettes.
of the video.
Yeah.
And so that means white is where the heat is. So now this is the TV. We're looking at the TV video.
Oh, so this is like the regular optical,
Mhm.
visual, human visual.
Right.
Okay. Wow.
And that's, I think, what's important to understand about these videos is that these are some of the most, this is the most intense technology you can buy. And that's why this is, important to really recognize it as authenticated, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of stigma, especially among military personnel. I know this is not the first time that military personnel have come in contact with these types of things, but I think there's a lot of stigma. And Tom DeLonge even talks about this, and Luis Elizando talks about this, where just getting these guys to talk about the things that they've seen, it's not that they're afraid, but it's just like, almost that it'll just seem like way too out there. Even though even if we're just talking statistically, it's not out there. And these are folks who are working with some of the best, most sensitive technology that you can find. And, we shouldn't be, telling these guys they can't talk about what they're seeing. And I also think that, this isn't the 1950s anymore.
Yeah.
And I think citizens are more informed than they have been, and we can handle subjects like this. God knows this year has tested me in limits I didn't know possible. And this, honestly, the fact that this kind of like just went to the side of my peripheral and then I kind of jumped back into it, that shows everything that's happened this year. But I don't know. I just think, and again, the military always tends to take the stance that these are security issues, and all the research and stuff that they'll do will be under the view of security. And I think, as crazy it is that the guy from Blink-182 started this, Science and Art Academy. I think it's important to have these academies because it's looking at, extraterrestrial research in not a security way and not a threatening way, in just a, let's gather evidence type of way. And I think that's important. And honestly, I see a lot of beauty in it. And so does Tom DeLonge. So.
Oh, and a protocube has a very good observation, which is the pilots just don't want to get roasted by the other Navy bros.
That's literally it.
We both spent a lot of time in Navy bro towns. I lived in Annapolis for years, and you're in Norfolk.
I'm in a Navy town. Yes, it's a lot.
No, I also heard that they could lose their pilot's license. Like that was like another threat.
Wait, for real?
Because it would be an issue. They would think, okay, this person's clearly crazy, so we gotta have you not fly. Because airline pilots have kept quiet about stuff that they've seen for the same reason.
Exactly, but I feel like we should be emboldening these things. And there's always going to be folks out there who want to create hoaxes and tamper with video footage and do kinds of stuff. But I also think that there is, just with everything that we know about the universe, this is not something out of the absolute realm of possibility. And Earth may be, as I say, the Love's truck stop of the universe, but that doesn't mean we can't learn something from that,
It would not surprise me if we were like an intergalactic toilet and they're just dropping waste.
You're just dropping waste.
They're just like, no, it's great. They don't know anything. They're practically just out of the Stone Age. They're not going to know.
They're literally just weeks from meeting each other. It's fine.
I do like the concept that they're coming here to get our trash to fuel their ships because our trash is so stinky. From that classic Married with Children episode, where Al Bundy is woken up in the middle of the night repeatedly by the little aliens coming in his room to steal his socks. And Peggy is, of course, always asleep. What wacky times
I do
with the
remember
Bundys.
that.
It's a good episode! Classic!
Oddly enough, I remember that.
Amazing. No,
that makes sense.
Oh, Mel, by the way, you're getting mad props for the lighting in your room.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's a process.
It's very mellow. I feel very relaxed looking at it.
Directly on my face. And so that's why.
But so what other info do you have about these videos or To the Stars, Tom DeLonge's project? Because he basically bankrupted himself doing this, right?
What was that?
He basically almost bankrupted himself. Like, he put all of his money into this.
He died for our sins.
Yes, that is.
No, that's the guy that used to date Avril Lavigne. What band was he in?
Oh, isn't it? Not Creed.
No,
Oh.
that's the guy currently married to Avril Lavigne.
Oh, Sum 41.
Yes, the Sum 41 guy.
I think I saw them live once at Warped Tour, of course, when I was in high school. And I don't remember much else. It was them and Flogging Molly. And who else was it? The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
I feel like this dates us really heavily.
Boston's are great.
The Boss Tones are great.
Wait, did Sum 41 do that really horrible cover of Paint It Black? Or is that another band?
This was like, I don't know. I don't remember much. I was young. It was hot. We were doing things we shouldn't have been doing for that age. And it was a great time.
He definitely almost went bankrupt, but to him, it was all part of the divine plan for him.
Mm-hmm.
He genuinely believes 100% that he was meant to be a part of this moment in history, and that Blink-182 was just a way to open that door. So, you know, yeah, he wants to fuck your mom, but he also wants to find aliens. And
Hell yeah.
And if you're referencing that song, Our Dad and Dog too.
But they also
they
do other media things. Like they produced like a couple recent documentaries, right?
They did a documentary for the History Channel, which I've been looking at clips of and is actually very good. Luis Elizondo, who works with Tom DeLonge, actually is a former military officer who worked at the defense program at the Pentagon, who was a part of that $22 million program, and ended up resigning after a couple of years after it was dissolved, just because he was essentially that disappointed in the lack of interest from the government in wanting to pursue this information.
That's a rather familiar tale.
Yeah, so this, to me, yeah, like when I say poetic, I really do mean poetic. And, you know, yes, it's strange. Yes, it's weird. Yes, it's funny. But, I mean, it's also, in a weird way, it makes me be proud to be a millennial.
You said this was the most millennial thing imaginable. Yes.
I knew it. I knew this was real. I knew this shit was real. I knew it was real. And we should stop pretending like this is just in graphic novels and comic books and movies, and really start trying to be more philosophical about this and scientific about this. You know,
I agree.
We just, you know, fuck. I want my $700 billion worth.
We're not getting it with the F-35 either.
Like,
I can't get healthcare. I want aliens.
Right? Like, just give us that.
Give us the old men yelling at each other debate so we can have at least one good laugh before the end.
Oh,
give us the aliens. If you're not going to give us healthcare, at least give us those two things. So before we die.
I don't want the light at the end of this tunnel just to be a trash fire. Give me something else.
Just something. And you know what? This is something. And we should be doing something with it.
And they're not spending that $700 billion efficiently. All they do is make helicopters that crash, aircraft carriers that throw their planes into the ocean.
Hey, if you want your $700 billion in taxes spent on aliens, let StarTime know. Okay.
Yeah. We'll
Please
pull some strings.
us.
We'll try to
We have
get
nothing else going on. Our lines are open.
Well, I have a lot going on.
I don't. You know that. Way to rub it in, Dave.
You have a job.
Is it?
If you have not watched the videos, please watch the videos. They're on YouTube. They're readily available now that they're officially declassified from the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. See what you think. You know, I'm always a believer in, you know, watching things for yourself. So.
Well, some folks in the comment are pointing out, I don't want military helicopters and hardware that works. And I also agree. Honestly, better to have something that breaks apart on its way to drop a bomb on a school bus than something that successfully bombs the school bus. But
that's where we are, folks. We're talking about bombing school buses.
Hey. We're always talking about bombing things on Star Time. I wonder if we're going to get our video marked for that.
I'll edit it out to say unicorns or something.
And you know what? I also just want to mention really quickly, I would go to Toilet Garden. I felt like you guys really sold it. You know, that was
The
a good
Toilet
job.
Garden's great.
It's
There are two of them. There are two locations.
2 locations that you can see.
There's one across from Clarkson University, and then there's one across from Five Guys. It's great.
That one's, I think, the closest to our home and the smallest one. And, yeah.
Jasmine,
Oh,
what if
Allie likes...
coming here just to see the Toilet Gardens? You know.
Yeah, it's the only thing to come
You
to the
don't
town
know
for,
if
honestly.
No.
You don't
Oh,
know.
we also have a head shop now, I realize.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just found it today, and I was actually quite impressed with the selection.
Is it the Happy Vape?
No, it's a better one.
My cousin might have worked there at one point.
That makes sense. Well, it was another redhead who was
It
behind
was
the counter.
not my cousin.
Okay. I just assumed that they just all look alike, you know. Isn't that how it works? That they just, like, multiply and they just keep looking the same? I don't know.
I love... So we got a few good comments I want to get to before we go to our next thing. Allie mentions, never forget the bomb that went off on Star Time. That was our wonderful demo about how to get rid of a comet. That was great. There's still marks around here from that. Protocube mentions he's still mad that the people that have been talking about the black helicopters from Area 51 since the 60s, and then they crashed one getting Bin Laden, and it was photographed, and everyone was just like, huh. Very true.
Good point.
Very true.
Stealth helicopter, which everyone was like, that's not real. And then it crashed, getting Bin Laden. They're like, oh, yeah, by the way, we got one of those. Sorry. And they're like, but that's the only one, and we borrowed it just for this.
Yeah.
That's why you can't have healthcare.
They just have the one stealth helicopter and they share it.
Yeah, they share it to save
Everyone
costs.
signs up on a list in the gym.
Hey, bro, you want to take the stealth for this mission? It's like they treat it like Airwolf. It launches from an extremely dangerous lava tube base. First season of Airwolf. Pretty good. Looks very expensive.
Someone's asking in the chat about how we met. I don't know if it's me and you or us and Mel.
Oh,
I don't know. They're going to have to specify. Well, we all three met in California.
mhm.
Yes.
We can say that much.
I met Mel first,
Mhm.
actually.
And I met
Jasmine.
Mel through Jasmine
Yes.
after we met at a neighbor's party
Yes.
twice.
Yes. That's
A
a,
year
long
later.
story. Well, we can have like a separate segment.
Mhm.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
where
chat
we-
later.
Or, you know
a
what?
follow-up brunch
Tune
show.
in for brunch, where I will bring that up. And Mel, if you would be so kind to join me sometime in the future, we'll do another show. Awesome. I love it. So yeah, we'll talk then.
But let's talk more games. Yes,
Games?
it's time for games.
Ooh, you did a game?
I made a game up. and we
This
are
is
going to
actually a
play
big
this game.
thing because all the games you see on all the shows, brunch and this one, I do it. So this is Dave's first
Mhm.
game. So let's give him a little.
Oh,
It's not my
job.
first game.
Yes, it is. Wait, isn't it?
I've been at a few, but they're not as good as yours usually.
That's true.
This game is called F-Files. Was the truth ever out there? Now,
Ooh.
these recent revelations from the Navy seem pretty legit. However, there is a history of other revelations that may or may not be so legit, or they may not be as accepted. However, all UFO media is full of disinformation, fraudsters, hoaxsters, grifters, gullible folks, people that end up drinking the Kool-Aid, honest, like folks that really think they're doing stuff, but it's very hard to see the difference between it all. And we're gonna solve it all for these famous figures once and for all. That's right. So, Mel, are you ready?
No, but let's do it.
All right, we're gonna put so many old controversies to rest tonight. First up, do you recognize this handsome man here?
I do recognize him. His name is Bob Lazar, I believe.
This is the story of Bob Lazar. And what did Bob Lazar, what's he famous for?
So I believe he has association with the Area 51 file. Area 51?
Yep.
Wow.
He was kind of the big guy behind that.
Okay, but that's kind of that's my memory is a little fuzzy on that, just because
So Bob Lazar came to the media around the Las Vegas area in the late 80s, early 90s. He's actually an incredible TV special, UFO Cover-Up, live, which 2 versions are available in full on YouTube. They're amazing. I cannot recommend them enough. They're a very strange show. So he's either Falcon or Condor. These people like filmed like with the silhouette and the broken up pixels. Yeah.
And the
very
guy
scary.
from MASH hosted. Not Alan Alda, but his companion, male friend.
Oh.
The blonde, the tow-headed gentleman.
The balding guy? Not the one that dies in the crash in that one episode.
Jesus.
I know too much about that show. Guess who was up way late at night in her high school years? Excuse me.
But
Sound.
so Bob Lazar basically kind of helped bring a lot of the mythology out, perhaps true things, but he's big in like there's extra elements that above what we normally have in the periodic table that are the fuel source for these spaceships. I saw the spaceships. I worked on one of them, but I saw others. I heard about bodies being kept, that sort of thing. He's never gotten rich from it. He actually kind of destroyed his life.
No, and that's what I heard as well too. And that's what I mean when we talk about stigma about this kind of stuff. You know, it's the folks that really are. They're not looking to get money out of it.
If they are, you'll know right away.
Yeah.
So, what is your assessment of Bob Lazar? An
in
F
terms-
file or X file?
Wait, which one is the X file?
X file is there's something legit. F file is
Bob Lazar is. I mean, he's an OG. He's total X file.
awesome. I think my extra conspiracy theory might be that he was set up to give out disinformation. Hard to say.
It's very possible. The thing about the whole government stuff is they just want so much control over their officers and over the people that work for them. And that's really what a lot of this, that's what we have to break through, essentially. Okay.
Majestic 12. Do you know Majestic 12?
This is, I have heard of Majestic 12, but I cannot remember. Was this a series of witnesses?
It was a series of old documents from the 50s and 60s for the 12 advisors to the president or something like that.
Okay.
And, you know, so it's one of those code words like Majestic, all caps, -12.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it supposedly details alien visitations, the agreement the US government reached with the aliens about experimenting on the citizenry in exchange for getting, I don't know, microwave ovens or advanced technology, that sort of thing.
I believe it. I totally believe the US government would sell us out for microwaves.
Yeah. So,
Sell us out for
X-File
less.
and Majestic 12,
You know,
X-File or F-File?
I'm going to go with F-File for that one. Just
Yeah.
because I haven't heard as much in terms of legitimate evidence. That one has not come up as much. I've heard of it, but not in terms of any.
It's kind of dodgy. Like, there's a lot of issues with the way that the typesetting is on it. It's one of those things where it's like, this doesn't really look official.
Exactly. But again, I do believe our government would sell us out for microwaves, so I don't know.
And Miranda said, and thus the invention of Hot Pockets. Definitely an alien creature. By the way, speaking of Hot Pockets, Jim Gaffigan basically melted down and had a very long anti-Trump tirade, and which is great. And a lot of his fan base is apparently very mad because they thought he was a super conservative dude like them.
How?
So,
How?
They clearly weren't paying attention to his sets because it's kind of ups.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh, poor Jim Gaffigan. Anyway.
Wow.
Do you recognize this handsome fella?
The one in the front or the back?
Front.
Okay. Then no. But the guy in the back, that guy sells bomb-ass weed.
True. So
His name is Scooter, I think?
Well, the guy in front of him is named Stanton Friedman.
Oh.
So you may recognize him from other UFO specials. He's the retired physicist they always bring on to get interviewed about, like, the alien conspiracy.
The conspiracy that there is aliens.
That there's anything. Like, he'll be brought on to talk about crop circles. He'll be Bob Lazar. I think he helped Bob Lazar with some of his stuff. He was he passed, I think, last year.
Yeah, something
R.I.P.
seems off. Like, that tie and shirt scheme screams something's wrong with that dude.
So you're going to say F-File?
No, I think that's legit. If anything...
I'm going to say X-File with him.
X-File.
This is another person that I've heard, he's not ever gotten rich from this.
Oh.
I think he got a career out of it, but nothing like he's not like swimming in a pool.
Right. He's not swimming in it. And also this is someone that is, I think, and now that we're talking about this is someone who is trying to apply science to the things, like the evidence that we have seen, that the things that we are gathering. And I think that's really important in terms of this stuff, because it can't just be like, grainy video and all this type of stuff. We really have to try to, he tried to make it legitimate. So I'm going to say X-File.
Stanton Friedman, X-File. He'll be pleased to hear that in heaven. He gets to go to heaven. Okay. Miranda adds, good honest work. Perhaps not so much for the next couple of folks. We'll just focus on one person. This is the back of that one person is John Mack, Harvard psychiatrist. The other person leaning down to talk to the person in bed is Bud Hopkins. Now that person is coming out of a hypnotic trance session. You may have heard of the book Intruders. If you've heard of Whitley Strieber's Communion, he's the guy that hypnotized Whitley Strieber. Yeah. So, what's your assessment of Bud Hopkins? Also, speaking of people, he did kind of get rich off of this. Intruders was a hot seller in the 80s.
When it comes to hypnosis type of stuff, and I have to go with F-File just because there's just too much, I think, suggestion involved in my opinion.
You can read the transcripts.
That. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, No,
yeah, it's super easy to suggest things to people who are under hypnosis, so you could prompt them.
Full disclosure, I was subjected to an off-the-shelf weirdo self-hypnosis device from my friend's dad once at the cool parents' house where we got to smoke weed and drink. And I came out of it firmly believing that I also had been abducted. I was never abducted.
Cult house, Dave. That sounds weird.
I was never abducted.
They gave you weed and they were cool. I've heard that before.
They were very much not cool in the end.
Okay, because I was going to say Charles Manson also gave people weed and was had a cool house at a certain period of time. So I'm just saying you might have dodged a bullet.
The funniest part, there's several parents, if they're watching this now, are like, is that my house? But yeah, I actually went around firmly believing I had been abducted for years, and in fact it was just the extra suggestion of my family playing monster pranks on me when I was a kid. Unfortunately, perhaps I was, but I probably not. But yeah, so Bud Hopkins, X-File or F-File?
You can say F-File. Going F-File on this one.
Yep, sorry, Bud.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I'm anti-hypnosis.
And yeah, I mean, this came out around Satanic Panic time.
Ooh, even more
It's which is the funniest part is when I told my mom that I thought I was abducted, Mom's like, oh no, but I've had some hypnosis sessions, and I actually... Wait, this will embarrass my mom. I won't say this.
I will say it on brunch, so tune in on Sunday.
Sorry,
I have
Mom!
nothing to lose.
Speaking of Bud, let's talk about the big boy.
Okay. No, you.
Also, this is.
And then I'll give you my
Can I give? This is a little bit of local pride. The book opens in his camp in the Adirondacks. So yeah,
Shout out to
Mel.
Brother.
What say you about Whitley Strieber?
So this, to me, is probably one of the most, to me, detailed accounts of alien abduction. And I have a hard time giving this either an X file or an F file because in terms of the writing and the description, and it really does put you in another place. And the writer is genuinely, and again, I go back and forth a lot on this one because I've read it and it's been a while, but when I first, it's almost like when you read really, really good fiction, you almost don't want to believe that it's not real. And reading Communion is kind of like that experience, but this is someone saying this is their real story. But it's so hard to put into context because dealing with aliens is just like, I don't know, it's I want to call it like a version of science fiction, but it's not to, you know, Whitley.
I mean, if it helps, he is a sci-fi and horror writer.
Yes.
He was an established one before this happened.
Exactly.
Which actually is part of the book. He's like, maybe my inspiration was from this. Like, he wrote The Wolfen, which
makes it so hard because you don't, it's so good, you don't want to believe that it could be fiction, even though he's presenting it as his experience. And it could very well be his experience. We don't.
Which even he was unsure about in this book.
Exactly. And I honestly recommend anyone who has any kind of interest in UFOs to really like pick up and read Communion, because it really kind of sets the tone for, I think, a lot of folks who genuinely feel like they have experienced extraterrestrial abduction. And again, that's something else that comes with a lot of stigma and a lot of disbelief and a lot of, but it encapsulates well the kind of internal struggle that they even go through. Like, you know, we're not talking about people that's like, oh, this happened to me, I'm going to tell people, get rich from it, da 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 da. It's like, no, this happened to them, and now they don't know what to feel.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh right there, but Miranda just posted in chat, "If I did it by the aliens who abducted Whitley."
I would read that. I would.
Incredible. That's sort of what the follow-up books are, kind of, too. So the thing is he drops his questioning of it later on in these series of books, but the first one is very much, the part of the horror is himself wondering if he's lost his mind.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's a good read, regardless of how you feel about it. So I'm going to say X-File, honestly.
X-File.
The part of me, I've not read the book, so I don't know if I'm the best judge.
You saw the movie?
I saw snippets of the movie. There's a part of me that feels like some of the descriptions are like sleep paralysis based.
Oh, certainly.
And I've had sleep paralysis, but I've been lucky, and all of the demons, no shit, have been cats giving me biscuits. Seriously.
Ooh, that's so fortunate.
I mean, really, like I said, hashtag blessed, like for real. But it can be super jarring because sometimes I don't get the cats, and I do experience the paralysis.
Ooh.
Sometimes with the pressure.
The witch riding.
Yes.
As they call it.
So I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm on the border a little bit.
That's what Whitley is too in the book, so good. Yeah. Oh, and just to say, honestly, The Wolfen's also great. Movie's fun. That's one of his earlier work. The movie of this. Have you seen the movie of this, by the way?
Wait, what was that?
Have you seen the movie of this?
No. See, I read the book. I have not seen the movie.
It's with Christopher Walken. It's very weird.
Oh my gosh.
It's also filmed very strangely. It has a theme of nesting masks in what is reality, which does seem appropriate.
I mean, it's Christopher Walken, so
he's scarier than the aliens.
Yeah, honestly, you trust the aliens more than you do Christopher.
That
says a lot.
Kind of not the best movie, but there's the most weirdest scenes from Communion collection on YouTube, like a 12-minute long or 8-minute long clip show.
Oh, nice.
Just watch that.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah. So, but
Oh, blessed.
my boy, do you know this gentleman and his story?
I know he's one of the originals, but his name has escaped me just at the moment. And
This is David
as far as
Huggins.
I'm concerned, he provides one of the first accounts, and I believe he has like a relationship with one of the aliens.
Crescent.
Yes. And
That's Crescent in the middle there.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And so I can't remember his name, but I know this relationship spans throughout a period of time. And basically he is told that this relationship is part of like a, wait, what is his name though?
David Huggins.
Okay.
It's a cute name. So cute.
Funny story, though, before I forget.
Huggins.
I was trying to find David Huggins' name, but I remembered crescents. So I searched crescents, and the first thing that pops up is about David Huggins, but the title is Busty Alien Crescent Fucks David Huggins. Like, it's not even a Pornhub thing. But like,
Yo, Allie also mentions, so he put a wig on an alien to fuck her, which is not his story. She actually puts the wig on to look more appealing for
well,
him.
I thought she was a hybrid.
Oh!
He hinted that she was a hybrid because her eyes weren't as big of the other aliens,
Yes,
and
and
they were
that's-
just almond and black.
Ooh.
That's what I remember too.
Okay.
Yeah, she had the almond eyes and had the gray skin, but then other parts of her were more anatomical, I guess. And yes,
Yes,
she
as illustrated in his paintings.
Mhm.
Very graphically.
Full bush,
very graphically.
if y'all wondering. I mean, they don't have wax in space, I guess, so. I'm not
But
judging.
yeah, he becomes part of this very grand, long-standing experiment with this particular species of like the Greys, I guess. There's a very particular. Yeah.
There's like a hierarchy similar to Communion, interestingly. There's more reptilian, mantis sort of aliens controlling everyone. You got the hybrids kind of also have a certain rank. There's a taller alien that sort of directs pokes. There's the little blue guys that kind of gather everyone together. These guys have little blue outfits on. I think Whitley Strieber, they were just little blue, weird-looking people that weren't quite grays. But, yeah.
But yeah, his was one of alien love, and I'm gonna go with X-Files.
I agree, because his experience is too mundane to be fake. It's literally just, like, intergalactic one-night stands. That's all it is. And he doesn't even, like, enjoy it. Like, half the time it's painful. Like,
God,
the
I hope it's just
relationship
not memories
isn't
of him
even...
getting molested by
like,
someone.
No, because most of it happens when he's in his teens. He doesn't have sex.
That
and-
could
well, okay. But most of the sex is, as I recall, was his adult life, and only one time when he was a teen. And when he was a kid,
Right.
they were just, like, talking to him
That's true.
and saying, hey.
He's like
And it wasn't even that good.
right.
Yeah, so that's why I think it is real, because he talks about a very real sexual experience. I had sex with this woman who came into my house, and it was not even that good.
And it was
I don't-
Why would you be honest about that?
I'm not 100% sold, I gotta say. But I do believe that he 100% believes, and I will also very much recommend his book, which is mostly the illustrations that he's made of his encounters over the years. They're so creepy. They're
And naughty.
ethereal.
He doesn't, like, split hairs. Like, there's fucking.
But yeah, I'd say X-File. He genuinely believes it. Something definitely happened to this guy.
He had some mediocre sex with an alien.
I know, that's the thing! That's why I think it's real. Like, he's like, I had sex with an alien, and it was fine most of the time, and the rest of the time not. Like, if I was lying, I would have been like, it was great, it was amazing, like, she had ginormous tits and there was 4 of them. Like, no, he was just like, she came by, I knocked her up, and then she came back with kids and I had to talk to them. Lame.
Right? That's the best part is like...
Oh, that's right. He has the kids. He's a bad dad.
Yeah. No, he feels bad about it. Like, he wants to be involved, but they're just kind of like, no, we're gonna come periodically.
How to like bond with them. And they're
Hi,
like,
kids. Do you like Atari?
I think it's even lamer than that. It's literally like, show the kids how to dance. Why there's no music? Show them how to dance.
show them Earth things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show them how to use that chair.
We're running a little late, but we gotta advance. So we gotta move from the sex files or Star Time After Dark. Thanks, Protocuban Miranda. Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay, I don't know.
Again, I've bought weed from both of the people in this image at least once.
This is Nick Redfern. He's most famous for
Intergalactic Fam Court.
What the-
Yeah.
Family
So-
Court.
I would watch that. I could even see it like Crescent coming down. Look, I got 2 kids and he ain't paid for one of them. And I feel like I'm owed a little bit. And he's like, she's in space and I didn't know.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know they'd take alimony.
He's got to take care of these kids. I'm not trying to get into a fight.
Sorry. But Nick Redfern, most famous for his book that says that the Roswell crash was actually the result of testing on captured Japanese POWs or possibly Russian folks that were kidnapped and subjected to experiments. But yeah, he says those are altered people that were the bodies recovered from Roswell. That's one of his things, but he's a general. You'll see him on Ancient Aliens and other shows too as one of the talking heads. He's kind of the new Thomas Friedman.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I don't have a real strong opinion on him. To any of you? F-File, X-File?
I just feel like if you're going to a space alien convention, you dress for the job you want, not the one you have.
So, F-File.
Yeah.
Certain beanies. I did not request.
Are you even like trying, bro? Like seriously.
I'm going F-file.
Yeah, this doesn't seem legit to me.
Miranda, I've heard these voices on Coast to Coast AM for years and never knew they all look like disgraced former gym or history teachers.
Yeah.
He's decided he's going to have a new second career. I'm going to learn to skateboard at 42 because I was fired for sexually harassing my female students. Sorry, Nick.
Everyone needs a second
Yeah, the
chapter.
hat is suspicious. I can't see anything, not even his ears.
Honestly, I think they put the hat on him. It looks like a promo for that clothing line.
Oh!
We may be unfairly maligning Mr. Redfern and
How much you wanna
judging
bet?
him on what he's wearing.
How much you want to bet that's vape gear? That's
Ooh.
like for a new product line. Because that's like very on brand for that. Yeah.
Going old school now. This is J. Allen Hynek, the guy that ran Project Blue Book. Famously skeptical, turned believer during the course of his work, which was to disprove every UFO that was supposedly in that program.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then he
I
ended
say
up.
that's kind of legit.
Mel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say X-File just because he tried the other way
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't.
I appreciate that. He wasn't just like, oh, I'm all in. He questioned.
Mm-hmm. And he
Not
still
all can
questioned
do
it, I
that.
think.
Yeah, he still questioned it, but that's honestly, that's the most important part about, all this is, can you still be questioning? And I think that's really the whole thing is we don't know either way. The government doesn't know either way, but they're just like, they just don't want to deal with it right now.
And he actually got very upset he even talked in public about getting pressured to just label things as swamp gas or Venus refracting off of the atmosphere, that sort of thing.
Common problem.
etc.
All right, Jay Allen. So X-File or F-File?
We're gonna say X-File.
Agreed.
Again, this is a man that dressed for the job.
He really did. No, he is definitely a bit of a daddy. If you look up some of the other pictures of him, he is like Science Daddy. Oh, no, look at some of the other ones.
Okay, this is,
Yeah.
I'm not, but I'll take your word for it.
The UFO Gilf. Or
UFO
is
Daddy.
it Grandpa? That'd be Grandma. What's a Grandpa?
No, he's Grandpa. Gilf.
Okay,
Yeah.
Grandpa is also Gilf.
P-Gilf. Wait, what?
P-Gilf.
No, we had it right the first time.
Can't Gilf just be all-inclusive?
is...
Grandpas and grandmas.
Yeah.
All right. What a wonderful thing we've created.
G-DILF, G-MILF.
Mm.
Ooh. Okay. And of course,
We gotta.
His, Tom DeLonge.
He had no reason to not.
You know what?
He had no reason to lie.
The reason I'm going to go with X-File for Tom DeLonge is because he didn't have any reason to do this.
Yeah.
He didn't have any reason to get into this, okay?
He's a rich dude. Famous.
He has money.
He has the money. He could have just kept doing what he was doing. But no, this guy has been into UFOs since he was a little kid and has remained with that interest. And as soon as he got out of Blink-182, the first thing he did was found to the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences.
I think there was a rift in the band. It tore them apart, didn't it?
Oh, did it?
His love and devotion to the research of UFOs was so great, it tore him from his bandmates.
Who tried to replace him as a singer?
No.
And he ended up founding this institution, and next thing you know, they are helping the New York Times leak these videos, which were not declassified. And I need to point this out, they were not declassified when he first released them, which was in 2017.
Good point. Thank you.
So it's important to note that by the time, May of this year rolled around, getting word from the Pentagon that yes, these were untampered videos. They had no theories as to what they were. They weren't going to call them UFOs, obviously, but I think it's important to acknowledge, it's important to acknowledge that that's the first time that has ever happened in the government's history, to come out and say, yep, that's real.
Except for the first 5 minutes of the Roswell crash.
Except for the first 5 minutes of the Roswell crash, which honestly deserves its own show.
Oh yeah.
That's a different era of UFOlogy, honestly. Its own
We're gonna have so many thoughts about this.
And stuff like that. So, because those guys really put themselves on the line to talk about the stuff that happened at Roswell. So,
and that was Stanton Friedman was involved with that too, if I remember right. But we're going to leave with one last one. Very iconic one, but very controversial. The alien autopsy. We can do the video or the supposed happening as two separate things.
I mean, I know what I'm going to say.
What you going to say?
I think it's not real. Because as someone who studied film, and the cinematography of this is all off. If you are doing any kind of autopsy, you should focus on the things that are happening as it's happening. So, for example, there's a scene where the brain is being cut open. The camera, doesn't even try to video that part. It conveniently gets covered by a doctor. So there should have been if that was somebody who really cared or really wanted to document, would have done more to get a better visual. It just seems very stagey in a sense that if I were doing it, that's how I would cover up the fact that I have a shitty mannequin.
No?
I agree with you, man. I think it's an F-file because, again, and this is the difference between, evidence presented like this and evidence presented from these, F-18 videos where you can clearly see the dynamics of the video. You can see all the registers, you can see the degrees, you can see the infrared, you can see the TV, you can see all of that stuff. These are folks that they are actually using this technology. This is actually military video. This does not seem... there's just not enough information to be a legitimate video, I guess. So yeah, and the same what Jasmine said.
On a side too, when they're doing the autopsy, they do the cutting wrong too. They cut straight down the abdomen. You're supposed to go. So that's how you cut up in a body, folks.
It's very much an F-file.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw when I was a true believer as a late teenager, I saw this live on Fox, And yeah, I was like, oh, this probably isn't real. It's cool. I
Yeah,
enjoy
I mean,
like this mock
whoever
surgery
did
on
this-
television.
Like, great. The flesh looks great.
Hmm.
The body looks
The
really
viscosity
good.
Fluids,
But it's also in black and white
yeah.
on a bad film.
Well, that's them.
So,
Yep.
Well, that's
Oh.
okay.
And with that, I think we've gone to the end of our evening. It's the end of
We
our
did.
game. We've settled all the old UFOlogy controversies. It's so great. Thank you, Mel.
we really did it.
Jasmine?
Thank you, Mel.
Guys, you know,
It's always
I'm
a
here to
pleasure.
help. I'm here to help unravel these mysteries.
And and speaking of helping, let us help you. Do you have anything you'd like to promote?
You should probably vote in this election if you're going to vote. So, and hopefully vote for the non-dictatorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
Vote
go
for
ahead
the
and-
other molester guy who's also senile.
Just go ahead and order the turd sandwich versus
Yes.
the full-on dictatorship. I know it's, but
Yeah.
you should just go ahead and order that sandwich. And
Yeah.
you have to eat it, but just order it.
Exactly.
Put it in the freezer, whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, that's what we have.
But you can also find Mel on Instagram at radical_invisible.
Hmm.
Sometimes I draw things and take pictures of them, and I grow things on a farm and do other cool things. And yeah, so I like to talk about aliens too. So if you like to talk to aliens, you should DM me.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. DM Mel, DM Jasmine and me. And yeah, watch
Yeah.
the stars. Watch the skies.
Maybe you'll be
You ain't got
abducted.
shit else going on.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Mel, and we'll see you again. Awesome. Bye-bye.
And thanks for being in the chat and watching.
Yeah.
It was like the most active
Awesome.
show we've had.
This is great. Thanks to the chat, too. Y'all are awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. We'll see you again. Whoa, wait. Jasmine, this Sunday, what you got happening?
We have brunch, and Miranda's going to be on. She's actually in the chat. She has no idea what's going to happen on that show, and neither do I. But it's going to be exciting anyway.
Former Startime guest. If you like this episode, check out our previous one about UFOs with Miranda, who saw a UFO.
Maybe I'll talk about how me and Dave and me and Mel met. Maybe.
Maybe. Or
It
talk
might be
about how
time.
us and Miranda met. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
Find out what time Sunday?
2 Eastern, 11 Pacific.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, we'll see
should
y'all
watch.
then. And remember to like and subscribe.
We need that. Like, for real. We're trying to make this work.
Yeah.
I can't get a real job because global pandemic shit. Please help me. I need to buy makeup because my face looks weird. Please. Give me money for makeup.
I just like talking to people online, so
Yeah,
you can help
I
little
like- I like
Jasmine
it.
here.
That too, but also help me. Thank you.
See you all later.